What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen that I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. This is a post by Benny Johnson. I tell y'all, this is something that is truly, truly amazing. It is. Benny Johnson posts, today for the first time, we got 100% of the record confirmation that Ilhan Omar committed immigration fraud. Law on immigration forms is immediate denaturalization. Vice President J.D. Vance says DHS is exploring enforcement. One thing about it is that's truly good news. I don't know about y'all, but stuff is definitely going in motion. I know a lot of y'all are tired and say, oh, you have all this talk and no action. Hey, I'm the same way. I can't stand it. It's time to actually definitely get things together. Get things moving. I'm already knowing. Let's check it out right here, y'all.
Vowing to coordinate between all branches to end this nonsense is the new plan. Vance sat down for an interview with Benny Johnson, spoke about Somali fraud, spoke about the queen of the Somali fraudsters, our friend Ilhan Omar. Take a listen.
Ilhan Omar definitely committed immigration fraud against the United States of America. She has been at the center of a lot of the worst fraudsters in the Somalian community.
Yeah, she married her brother to get him in, which means they both should go back. Benny Johnson is with us now. Good to have you. Good to see you again. Everywhere that gets investigated, they find billions of our dollars stolen. Nobody cares, and it's so infuriating. What did you witness today?
Yeah, I witnessed something that made my blood boil as an American taxpayer, that we are not too far away from this entire country just going completely over a cliff, Rob. And it sucks because I have kids here and I want to stay in America. I want to raise my kids as Americans. But if you bring in people who are not harmonious with Western civilization and a high trust society, and then you give them the opportunity to simply write their name on a slip of paper and lie to the federal government, which is what Stephen Miller talked about today, and they can just lie about how many kids they have, what diseases their kids have, and there's no way to check. The federal government doesn't check. They just write a blank check to those states. And so that's how the Somali community gets away with it. And J.D. Vance revealed to me today in our 35-minute sit-down interview that there is no investigation of any fraud under $1.5 million. So you just might as well stroke. Boom, a $1.5 million check to anybody who wants to lie to the federal government. What kind of a message are you sending to our nation? I just want to thank you for playing that clip, by the way, about Ilhan Omar. That's the first time on the record that we have absolute and total confirmation that Ilhan Omar did, in fact, commit immigration fraud. And I looked this up right before coming on your show, that lying on your immigration forms or committing fraud against the United States of America is an immediate denaturalization offense. It is something that has been tried in court. It happens actually quite regularly where people lie to get into this country. They're denaturalized. They're sent home. It's something that must happen with Ilhan Omar. The rest of the clip, J.D. Vance says, we're exploring this right now. But Stephen Miller has all of the available evidence, and I checked with DHS. This is 100% true. Ilhan Omar committed immigration fraud to get into America and to loot our nation dry. And it is time that she suffer the consequences.
Get her out. Get her out. It's amazing. I don't have a lot of time, but and the Azerbaijani guy that stole $90 million from the government. Can you imagine that one person is able to steal $90 million from our government? It is mind-boggling how little the people that run this country care about the money that they steal from us.
Yeah, it is mind-boggling. I would encourage you to go and watch the full J.D. Vance interview. It's up on my YouTube account right now, at Benny Johnson. You'll find J.D. Vance saying that UFOs are actually demons and explaining the Christian theology of what UFOs and aliens actually are. He says he's going to take his top secret security clearance and head on down to Area 51, New Mexico, and Hangar 8 in Ohio and get the truth about the UFOs. Very interesting stuff. He has messages for Joe Rogan and Jimmy Kimmel. It was a wild interview. The Vice President was on fire today. He was cooking.
One thing about it is I'm definitely glad that, individuals are definitely staying on top of it, especially, y'all remember my individual's word. I got to apply that to them only. But you have people that are truly, been on top of it. You got Benny Johnson here that's definitely on top of it, and definitely glad that he is. And then you have J.D. Vance, within that task force and making stuff happen because it's truly time for some action, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Not only Ilhan Omar, but JD Vance confirms Tim Walz will be prosecuted if and when they find out he committed fraud-related crimes. Check it out.
I do feel very bad for Tim Walz because of what happened in the October 2024 debate. But unfortunately, we're going to have to maybe kick him again a little bit because, again, look, I don't know. To be clear, I don't know what Tim Walz knew about the fraud that was happening in Minneapolis. But what I do know is that the Department of Justice is now going to look into it. We're now going to investigate it. And if he committed a crime, we're absolutely going to prosecute it.
Yeah, same with Gavin Newsom in California. There's a lot
going on
there.
Same with Gavin Newsom. Same with a lot of folks.
I'm telling y'all, and I want stuff to happen. I don't want this stuff to just be talked about all year to get everybody hyped up because this is the type of stuff that we've always we voted for. You know what I mean? This clip right here, speaking of Tim Walz, y'all never guess what this man did. It says, breaking a moment of betrayal, Tim Walz pledges his allegiance to Somali Minnesotans. Check it out.
And I will add a special thank you and a special acknowledgement that we will never leave the side of our Somali Minnesotans. Here's our pledge to you. Our Somali Minnesotans, your great-grandchildren will still be here when that orange clown is in the dustbin of history. You will be here.
Now, if that right there ain't a threat or nothing, you got to be insane. Just that the last thing he said. I'm telling y'all, the things that they're doing and them inciting violence is truly, truly sickening to me. I promise y'all, it's truly sickening to me that you have individuals doing this. You have Steve Forbes here, just called out Ilhan Omar and her husband's investment firm. No clients, records, no managed funds, no nothing. So when it all comes down to it and what Ilhan Omar is about, things are slowly but surely starting to come together about her. And that's reasons why she's very, very close. And they're very, very close to actually getting things done. Let's check it out.
That was far-left Congresswoman Ilhan Omar claiming the Justice Department and Congress probing her sudden skyrocketing wealth to $30 million in just 1 year, that they have a problem with her living the American dream. You heard her say the goddamn United States of America. We've got new questions on where she and her husband got all that money. Joining us now, Forbes Media Chair, Editor-in-Chief Steve Forbes. Steve, new information coming in, and Forbes magazine, your magazine, has reported this too, that the state of Delaware and Washington, D.C. canceled the registrations for Omar's husband's investment firm, Rose Lake, for not paying its back taxes. We saw it owed more than $400,000 to Delaware and nearly $1,800 to D.C. She's claiming it's worth $25 million from less than $1,000 a year before. How can his investment firm not afford to pay taxes? It's supposedly worth an estimated $75 million to $150 million. This is really weird stuff.
Well, weird is not the word for it. There's another word for it called crooked. And that's why we have to have an investigation into this. As you know, the Biden administration started examining her finances and that of her husband. And so surprise, surprise, that investigation went nowhere. But it's amazing how people can go into Congress and then become these entrepreneurial investing geniuses, where they come in, she had under $1,000 of net worth and her husband didn't have much, and suddenly now they're multimillionaires. Is there a money laundering operation here? And in terms of the firms themselves, they have a sketchy background. That winery in California that she and her husband own, where did that come from? Where's the wine there? And nobody can seem to find it. So there's a lot of smelly stuff here, and that's why in the American Dream, her version of the American Dream is the Al Capone version of the American Dream, Tony Soprano version of the American Dream, and that is steal it from the taxpayers. And so there's a lot of stuff here, and so when somebody cloaks themselves in the American Dream, and so you have numbers like this, from minus 1,000 to 30, 40 million, you know something is not right.
Yeah, and she's also like, blaming people, bullying, doing race baiting, race bullying. There's no evidence, public evidence, there's even a winery. She valued it at $5
At
million.
all, it's not.
His investment firm is real. Well, it's supposedly real. Its D.C. headquarters appear to share office space at a WeWork, Steve. There's no track record of his firm managing money, doing M&A deals. No clients we see, investment deals, or any work it's done. They say they do work in 80 nations operating in. There's no SEC registrations for them as investment advisors. What is going on here? This increasingly looks sketchy, both the winery and his investment firm.
Yeah, the winery may not exist, and the firm may be just really a name only, as you say, a WeWork office. Big deal. So that's why the investigation needs to be done. And suddenly all that $30 million, I think you're going to find, I'll make a speculation and prediction, that $30 million came from sources that are illegal, period.
Thank you so much, Steve Forbes, helping.
Y'all got it right there. I'm telling y'all, everybody is on top of it, and I love it. You got it right here. The money flown out of Minneapolis airport by fraudsters have been tracked and used to purchase resorts in Kenya, apartment buildings in Nairobi, properties in Turkey, luxury homes, luxury cars, 790 million American tax dollars flown from Minnesota and sent overseas, which is definitely insane and definitely sickening that this is happening. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely sickening. And even more. You know, they had that 790 million, but I know that there's more. And it's definitely crazy. I've told y'all multiple times that people working in these airports are Somalian, which makes it even more crazier. But y'all have here Stephen Miller. And what he says here, and the reason why I put this in, because it's definitely important. I want people to actually put this in perspective, especially people, you know, that truly go against, you know, the Trump administration, against these individuals, you know, that against people that actually care about America. You know what I mean? Truly. Check it out right here.
Minnesotan who works as a lineman or works as a construction worker, works in any job that requires hard work, dedication, focus, who's worried about his ability to support for and provide his family. And then imagine that he has a neighbor who's a Somali refugee who arrived 2 years ago and has a Mercedes and no financial stress and no worries at all in the entire world and never seems to ever go to work at all because he just went to an office in the state, lied on a piece of paper, and got unlimited free money forever for life. That is the system that is being run, and that is the corruption that this task force under the leadership of the vice president is going to demolish. And I'll just give...
It's truly wild. It's truly wild. Just imagine that. You literally going to work, you doing what you need to do, and then not only that, but you got a family to support. I mean, there's some that's struggling, there's some that's not struggling. But regardless if they are that, that's not their money to be stealing in general. And it's truly crazy that they're even doing that. Check it out right here. President Trump saying that he will be taking, and I'm going to say little, you know, Minnesota, but I call it that little Somalia. Check it out.
Minnesota? Did I hear Minnesota? How is Minnesota doing? What's going on? What's going on in Minnesota with that crazy governor, that crooked, corrupt governor? How about the Attorney General? Do you think he's a dirty cop? You think he's a dirty cop? All right, we'll get Minnesota back. We'll take it back from Somalia. Do you believe these people come from Somalia? They have nothing. It's not. They come. Somalia is considered the worst country. It's not even a country, like the worst country in the world. The worst. They come over here, and they steal $19 billion. We'll get it straightened out. It's happening. Our vice president is in charge of a new division. It's called the Fraud Division. You know, if we straighten out half the fraud that took place in this country over the years, we'd have not only a balanced budget, we'd have a big surplus. So we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. But
definitely geeked for them to actually, you know, get things done is definitely important, and I'm definitely ready for it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm definitely ready for it. Got a post here that says, who's ready to see Ilhan Omar get prosecuted and deported for immigration fraud? As I stated, y'all seen it, y'all selves, that not only Benny Johnson is on it, but JD Vance is definitely on it, and getting things done. You know, so I'm definitely geeked up for it. I know y'all are too. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate y'all. Much love, everybody. Catch y'all next one.